Hey everybody, this is Mhando Mbughuni from Purpose and Excellence. Whoo! I just had a master plan class. It was heated up. I had 2 hours with these guys. So bear with me. I'm running from session to session. I hope you're doing great. We've started this series on how to bounce back from any setback. And yesterday we spoke about how to get a hold of your thoughts and feelings. When you get a setback, you're thinking, everything I've ever planned, everything I've ever wanted to do is now being compromised. What becomes of me now? And as I say, I like to get practical about things. Every single thing that you go through has a strategy, is figure outable. You can figure it out. You can put a strategy towards it. And so yesterday we looked at getting a hold of your thoughts and your feelings so that you can calm down and think through what you want to do next. Today, I want to tell you that this setback doesn't define you. Just 1 second, bear with me. Jude, please go. I'm recording. Oh, my children. Bear with me. I just got interrupted by my kids. So today we're saying, okay, this setback happened to me. This setback doesn't define me. And so what does that mean? I want you to understand that life happens to the best of us. And so this setback, I'm trying to get my lighting, be good to me. I want you to understand that you can do something. You're in greater control than you realize. You can do something about the setback. What does that mean? Yesterday, we wrote down, okay, what am I going through? You script it down. You get in a quiet place where you can say, what am I going through, and script it down. Number 2, what do I fear? Now that I can define what it is I'm going through, what do I fear is happening to me, or I'm going to lose, or I'm out of control over? Write that down. That takes you from raw emotion and panic and chaos to, this is what I am thinking is happening to me, or has happened to me. And this is what I am feeling about what the setback is and what it will mean for me. And then today, I want you to now go back to a place of strength. And this is how you go back to a place of strength. You say to yourself, I know who I am, and I know whose I am. And so you remind yourself who you are. You remind yourself that you're a child of God. You remind yourself that you're victorious. You have been through a whole lot in life for you to stand here today, even with this setback. You remind yourself that you have overcome things. List down the things that you have already overcome, things that could have taken you out in life before, but you have overcome them. List those things down. And then remind yourself where it is you do want to go in life. Where do you want to go? Now, if you haven't done this before, I'd like to share with you how you can. Remind yourself where you want to go in life and how you meant to go there. Remember your vision, this postcard image of where you want to go. Remember your vision for your life. Remember all the strengths and the competencies and the skills that you have and any achievement that you have made in life. And then tell yourself, listen, this is who I am. I am this wonderful person. I am a person that has overcome these things. I'm an overcomer. I am victorious. I am resilient. I am tenacious. I am a person that has overcome a whole lot. And listen, whatever principles I used to get me through that, they will work just fine for this setback right now. And I know that life will happen. And so I anticipate there will be other hurdles, there will be other mountains to climb. And so the very same way, the God that took me out of all of that and everything that I ever had to endure and and sacrifice and travail over to get here, that's exactly what I'll do to get there. But this is what I want you to remember. When you remind yourself not to let this setback define you, I want you to remember that you have a vision for your life, that you had some goals, written down that you were working towards, whether they were relational goals, whether they were career goals, whether they were business goals, whether they were financial goals, whether they were family goals. You had some goals and you have a vision of your life and the impact that you will have. And what I want you to do in this day of not allowing the setback to define you is to say, I do not care how much I have been deviated, how much I have diverted, how much of, a winding I'll have to do. That remains my vision. I am still going there. Do you know what that does? That says, you know what? It's like you are walking somewhere, or if you drive, you are driving somewhere. You're using a road and a route that you are used to. You're not going to stop going there just because you get somewhere and they say, road works, you can't use this work, there's a diversion, take this road and you will meet, this main road somewhere there. But here, there's some road works going. You will not change your destination simply because there are people working on the road and they told you to take a different route. Of course not. You're going to stay on your path. You're going to stay on your destination. You're going to stay on your goal of getting to the other side. And so equally so with this setback, do not let this setback define you. It's just a thing I'm going through now. And so what is the strategy? As I've told you many a times, I am all for, this lighting is getting to me. I know it's casts a shadow on my face. What are we going to do? Look at me trying to bring the lighting down. Whatever, so you have to get very practical. I was going somewhere, and indeed I am still going somewhere. I know who I am. I know whose I am. I know what I've overcome before. And you know what? You're just another setback. The same principles that I used to get from there to here, the same way God helped me through all of that. And I'm still here to say that I am an overcomer, I am a winner, I am victorious, is the same way I'll get over you, setback, and you call it by name, whatever it is that happened to you, and I will get to where I have decided I'm going in life. But if it means that there's a diversion on the road because something has happened, it's fine. I will recalculate route and I will go whatever other route I need to go, but I will ultimately come back to where I am headed. Because there is a destination, there is a vision, there is an impact, there is success, there is significance waiting for me, and this is not going to stop me. Do not let the setback define you. As I always say, I get very practical with these things, very, very practical. I want you to look at it this way. I am going to own my journey. I am going to own my transformation. This lighting. Lighting is better, but you get to see some of my stuff. Let me see. There you go. I am going to own my own transformation. I know something happened to me that's external, even if you caused it yourself. I know I triggered off this series of events and they're working against me, but I am going to own this journey. So I'm owning my own transformation. I am setting, I'm remembering my patterns. I know that when I get setbacks, I kind of get iffy. When I get setbacks, I get worried. When I get setbacks, I usually, whatever it is that usually happens, what does that mean? I binge, I binge spend, I binge drink, I binge eat, I binge whatever, if something has gone wrong, I just spoil the whole thing so that I can start all over. And it's kind of like a diet that, I messed up with my diet on Wednesday, I'll start on Monday. No. Don't allow yourself to go through the entire vicious cycle. Cut off that cycle as soon as you are aware, which is why I also say, write out the patterns, those debilitating patterns, those defeating patterns that you follow, and cut them out as soon as you start seeing yourself following them. So you own your transformation. I am still on the driver's seat of my life, even with this setback. This setback doesn't define me. I am going somewhere and I will still go, even if I have to recalculate route, even if I have to, find another way around. I will do it as long as it's ethical and it is legal. I am going to find a way. You own your transformation. You get yourself back on your seat. You remember how you have already overcome enough things, and you will overcome this too. So you get yourself back on your seat, and you remember the things that come to you. Every time I get a setback, I tend to do these negative things. Remember those negative things and don't allow yourself to entertain them. And then now set your core values, even with this setback, which will mean a compromise on my business operations, which will mean a compromise on my financial capability, which will mean a compromise on how many people I have moving with me towards the same vision, which will be a compromise on relationships. Whatever it is, whatever setback happens to you in your personal life or your career or your business or your ministry, you remember that I still stand by these core values. This is who I am. This far I will go and I will not go any further. This far I will bend, but I'm not going to bend over backwards and compromise. You maintain those even in this time of setback. And then now you come up with a plan. What does that mean, Modesta? It means that you had this master plan initially. But now that this setback has happened, you might have to look at how then do I take this setback to be the new norm in a way. I am not changing my destination. This setback will not define me. But what now can I do with what is before me? You take a hold of that too. Even if it's just a little. I have very little left of the initial thing that I wanted. What am I going to do with this? Strategize about what you're going to do with it. Come up with a plan. And so, I wanted to have $50,000 or 50 million shillings. That is not going to happen anymore. I've got 10 million now. What am I going to do? Okay. What can you do that'll help you go towards the same vision with 10 million, with $10,000? I'm not saying they're equivalent. I'm just coming up with figures. And you write down a new plan, a plan for now, given your current circumstances, with these resources, which you feel, it's a setback. They're compromised. They're not the ideal. They're not the optimum. They're not the maximum. They will not give me the yield, the potential that I wanted. Okay, fine. But don't change your destination. Don't change your vision. Don't change your dreams and aspirations. Just look at what you're going to do with what you have right now and start strategizing with what you have right now. And so if that thing you thought would take you a year, you're now saying, all right, this is going to take me another, 6 months extra, or this will take me another year. And you'd be surprised. You could actually do it in less time. But factor in, okay, fine. So these things have happened. What do I do now? How do I work around it? Let me look for a practical way so that this really comes down. Let's say you're in business, you put some, you invested capital in your business, and something has happened. Maybe you didn't sell as you thought, or maybe some of your inputs ended up being a lot more expensive than you anticipated. You can now start strategizing around this. What does that mean? Does that mean I go out of business? Does that mean that this month I will not make anything? Maybe there are other ways around it. Is there somebody else who has those that you can work with? If you feel like I won't be able to deliver to my clients, can you get somebody else who has those goods that you can deliver to your clients? They belong to someone else, though. They're not yours, because you could not afford, to get your products. So you deliver, you get them from somebody else, you deliver so that your clients are satisfied. And even if you're taking the money to this person, or maybe you have an arrangement and you're taking less from it than you otherwise would, at least you have kept your clients. At least you didn't completely compromise, and now they're wondering if you're a shady person or not. It could be that money didn't come in, and so maybe you can't afford your premises. So what do? Can you share with somebody else and split the bill, if only for a short while, so that you can maintain your place of business? And of course, you're working with other people, and it's a compromise for a while, but at least you maintain where your business is and you can continue doing business. If it's about your career, you have a setback. Maybe you were expecting to move to another place and you're remaining where you are. What can you do? How can you make where you are right now work for the next place that you want to go? And so, are there skill sets, are there competencies, are there networks which you had hoped that you would get there, that you can still build while you're here, even if you're not seated on the seat with the title and the position of what you wanted? Can you still get the benefits in knowledge, in skills, in networks, in relationships, even as you are still here, of that next step? When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Instead of giving up, throwing in the towel, just say, this thing doesn't define me. I am still the same person who has overcome a lot. I am still the same person with all these strengths and all this all these virtues and this service to give. I am still the same person who's going to be a mover and shaker and have this influence. But I have to work with what I have now. Now, I've been sharing how my husband and I have been through a lot of twists and turns. And some of them include, our transition. We left our country, we're in another country at the moment. And you're thinking, you're starting from scratch. Nobody knows me. Nobody knows my track record. And so what do you do? Do you say, there's nothing I can do, maybe I shouldn't do anything? Or do you say, all right, fine, so I don't have a track record. Before, I was one of the top names in my business, one of the top businesses in my industry, but it no longer is so. And so what do you do now? What do I have? I have my skill set. Let's say my husband and I saying that we have our skills, we have our competencies, we have our work ethic, we have our values. We can still give our services. I may not have, a business and an office and whatever cushy, and I had it good, So, but what do I do with what I have now? This looks like a major setback to somebody who really was recognized globally for what I do. But what do? You work with what you have, and what do I have right now? I still have the competencies. I still have the experience. I can still do, I still have the workmanship and the ethics and the ingenuity, and I can still, deliver the same way I did before. I can work with technology where I used to have a lot of people that work with me. Right now, I can leverage technology. I can leverage social media. I can leverage systems of doing things so that what I could do with 5 people before, I can do, the two of us, I say my husband and I, and having an online, system. Whereas before, I would go and do things at the client's premises and work with them face to face, physically, present. Now I'm doing this online. Do what you need to do with what life has dealt you or where you are right now, and find a way of recalculating route, of moving to where the diversion has taken you, but never losing sight of your vision and where you want to go. This is what I want you, I wanted to say today. Do not let this setback define you. Do not let the fact that life has happened to you, be it. You can still get back in control. You can own your own transformation. You can remember your patterns and cut them off. You can set your core values and stand by them. You can make sure you have a plan. And what I'm saying today is make a new plan, taking into consideration your current circumstances. And this is what Mhando and I have done. We've made a new plan. We still have the same trajectory in career, in impact, in influence, in business, in wealth, all of that. But what does that look like? So one of our children goes to a public school. The other child is homeschool, because there isn't a public school for her level. So we homeschool our child. We haven't homeschooled before, hey, but we learned homeschooling and homeschooling curriculum. Make the most. So I don't know what your situation is. Are your kids at home because your business hasn't gone well? Homeschool. Find curriculum to homeschool your kids. Is it that you've moved to a place and you feel out of sorts and you don't have any networks there? Start establishing them. Did you work with people? Maybe some people have left your business and now you don't know what to do. Well, find out what you can do with where you are. Partner with others so you can share resources, or do what you can do and build in systems, technology, media right now, online systems that can complement what you have. Do what you can do with what you have. I'll be with you. I've got my kids getting impatient. It's been 3 hours since I actually gave them time. Do what you have with what you have. With what you can, but never lose sight of who you are and where you're going. And do not let this setback define you. I was talking about ADKAR. Have an awareness that something has happened and you need to do something about it. Have the desire to change, no matter what the setback is saying. Have a desire to make the most of it. Learn the knowledge you need. Now that I have this setback, I'm in a new environment, new norm, new reality. I need the strategies for me to be able to thrive in this new reality. Get the knowledge you need, and then build yourself up in ability so that you can execute it to the level you need to. And make sure that you can reinforce in support systems and technological systems, whatever you need, so that you can continue going strong in this until you build yourself up to that which you had always wanted to work towards all along. I am Modesta Mahiga Mbughuni. This is Purpose and Excellence. Thank you for joining me for this series. We continue tomorrow. Please subscribe to Purpose and Excellence YouTube channel and share it with other people. I am on a journey to build 100 million African leaders, purpose-driven, value-based leaders that want to serve our communities, that want to drive results with excellence. And so if you are a servant leader at heart and you don't want to be about, oh, if only Africa would change, or, as Africans is, if you really want to be part of the solution, this is the platform where we're strategizing how we can overcome ourselves. Make sure that we feel that we're empowered and that we're equipped, and we go and influence our sphere of influence unapologetically, and we can be consistent, delivering results, delivering excellence, so that we can build a new narrative and a new norm for Africa and Africans in the diaspora. All right, I love you much. I gotta go. It's been 3 hours back to back, but I love what I do. So please do share this, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow we're on at 1 p.m. US Eastern, 8 p.m. Yes, 8 p.m. East African time. Much love to you. Until then, bye.